All right, let's talk supply chain, but I want you to forget everything you think you know about it. We're going to look at this in a totally new light because it's moved way beyond simple logistics. We're talking pure strategy now.
So when you hear the phrase supply chain, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Seriously, what's that mental picture?
I'm willing to bet it's something like this, right? Trucks on a highway, maybe a massive warehouse filled with boxes, just the basic mechanics of getting stuff from point A to point B. And yeah, for most people, that's exactly it. But here's the thing, that entire picture, it's becoming totally obsolete.
What if we stop thinking about supply chain as just a cost to be minimized? What if it's actually the engine that can build a better future? A future that's more profitable, sure, but also more sustainable and, more human. That's the big idea we're diving into.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. We're not talking about cool tech just for the sake of having cool tech. No way. It's all about how we use these incredibly powerful new tools to do something way, way bigger.
And that brings us to the concept that really changes the whole game, the triple bottom line. You might have heard of it. It's a framework that basically says, hey, real success isn't just about the financials anymore. It's this delicate balancing act between three things: profit, planet, and people.
Okay, so let's break this down. We'll start with that first pillar, digital profit. Now, this isn't just about raking in cash. It's about making money smarter. It's about using technology to run your operations with, surgical precision.
And really, it all boils down to this. I love this quote because it's so simple, but it's so incredibly profound. This is the bedrock for this entire pillar. Everything, and I mean everything, starts with better data. So what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, we're talking about stuff like AI that makes your demand forecasts way more accurate, which, by the way, slashes waste before it even gets a chance to happen. Then you've got control towers. Think of them like a mission control for your supply chain that give you this real-time kind of God's eye view of your whole operation. And of course, predictive maintenance and warehouse automation, they don't just make things faster, they make the entire system tougher and more reliable.
And the results? They're super tangible. You're cutting down on waste, right? That means you don't need to have so much extra stock just sitting on a shelf, tying up cash. And speaking of cash, it moves through your business way faster. Plus, you can pivot and react to whatever the market throws at you in almost real time. This is what digitally enabled excellence is all about.
All right, pillar number 2, the planet. And here's the big shift, Sustainability isn't just a feel-good paragraph in your annual report anymore. It's turning into a serious, hard-nosed discussion based on cold, hard data.
I mean, it's that old saying, right? You can't manage what you can't measure. For so long, a company's environmental impact was, it was kind of this vague, aspirational thing. But now, digital systems are completely changing the game by giving us the visibility we need to actually do something about it.
And I mean, for the first time ever, we can actually track emissions across the entire value chain. We're talking everything. The emissions from your own factories, from the power you buy off the grid, and even from your supplier's suppliers. That's the whole shebang, what they call scope 1, 2, and 3. Once you have that data, you can do amazing things. You can tweak your energy use, you can plan smarter routes to cut down on fuel, you can even run simulations to design waste out of a product before you even build the first one. It's technology that's making sustainability real and actionable.
Which brings us to our third, and honestly, you could argue it's the most important pillar of all, people. And this one hits on the biggest fear that comes up whenever we talk about all this automation. You know the question I'm talking about. It's on everyone's mind. If we automate all this stuff, what happens to the people? What about their jobs?
Well, the answer isn't replacement, it's elevation. Just look at this breakdown here. All the repetitive, manual stuff, that's what gets automated. And that frees up human beings, our brain power, for the stuff we're actually good at. Things like deep analysis, strategic decision-making, and even using cool new tools like AR and VR for some seriously advanced training. We're not just laborers anymore, we're becoming the thinkers.
So, if those are the three pillars, profit, planet, and people, then who's the person that actually builds this new structure? What does that leader look like? Well, that brings us to the whole idea of the new supply chain leader. And let me tell you, the skills you need today are changing just as fast as the tech is. Being fluent with digital tools, being able to read and understand data, that's table stakes now. But you also need those skills that are uniquely human, right? Like being able to collaborate with people across the whole company and having the vision, the ethical grounding to steer these super powerful technologies in the right direction.
I really love this slide because it just boils the whole partnership down so perfectly. It's so simple, but man, is it powerful. Technology gives us visibility. It lets us see everything that's happening. But it takes human leadership to provide the direction, to have the wisdom to look at all that data and know what to do next.
So here's the bottom line. We have to completely change how we think about this entire field. The supply chain is no longer some back office function hidden away in the basement. No, it has moved straight into the boardroom. It's now right at the very heart of a company's strategy.
And in the end, it all comes back to this one number, 3. You have these 3 pillars, profit, planet, and people, and they all have to be held in perfect balance. Think of it like the new operating system for what success actually looks like.
So let's just end on this one final powerful thought. The triple bottom line. It isn't just some abstract idea you read about in a business school textbook. It is the future. It's the practical, real-world operating model for any leader who wants to succeed. For the supply chain, the future isn't something that's on its way. It is already here.